Now comes the part of determining estimating the power spectral density for stochastic signals. Do not look at the expression as of now, we will look at this expression very soon. Now, when we are using, so until now we have used periodogram to determine the frequencies present in a deterministic signal. But in practice, as we know, we run into stochastic signals. Can I use the periodogram to estimate the spectral density? See, when you look at the history, the periodogram was proposed by Schuster, who did not work in the engineering area. If I remember, he was working in the field of astronomy. So, he proposed the use of periodogram for the purpose of detecting sine waves embedded in noise. Okay. And assuming that the noise levels are not way too high. But people gradually thought of using this periodogram directly to estimate the spectral density of a pure stochastic signal, which perhaps was a mistake. And then of course, remedies were offered. The mistake in the sense is that if you look at a stochastic signal, the power spectral density of a stochastic signal, let me actually, if you recall, let me take you back to an earlier slide. If you recap, there are three different ways of arriving at the spectral density for a stochastic signal. One sorry, is this semi formal way that we had used to introduce a spectral density. That is, you start with a finite length record, compute the periodogram, and then take the expectation and then evaluate that average across realizations in the limit as n goes to infinity. Or you can think through of the power spectral density as a Fourier transform of the autocovariance function. And the third one is from the time series model. Of course, we have omitted the Wiener's generalized harmonic analysis here, but that will keep out of the picture. So, there are three different ways of at least arriving at the spectral density. In fact, these are the three different ways in which you will also find spectral densities are estimated for stochastic signals. We will shortly see that. But let us look at the first definition, because that is perhaps the most easy to digest. What it says is the spectral density of a stochastic signal is an average property, like any other property like autocovariance function or mean, variance and so on. It is a property not of a single realization, but of a collection of realizations, right. You say that it is no realizations property, it is everyone's property, it is a public property kind of thing. So, what this says is to truly estimate the power spectral density, it is very important to understand and pay attention to this discussion, because once you understand these points, the remedies for fixing the poor properties of periodogram when it comes to estimating the power spectral density of a stochastic signal can be understood clearly. So, going back to the discussion, what this definition suggests, and of course, the other two, but this is more explicit, it is saying that if you want to estimate the power spectral density, you definitely need to have many realizations, okay, which we do not have. Generally, we have only a single realization. And of course, in the limit as n goes to infinity, you will get closer and closer to the truth, but what is important is to have this many realizations. You may ask, why did not this question arise when I was estimating autocovariance function? Autocovariance function is also an average property, correct. It is expectation of Vk minus mu times Vk minus L minus mu. There is also an expectation there. How did we handle expectation in the estimation of ACVF? Sorry?
For only one realization.
Yeah, but there the definition demands that I need to have many realizations, whereas in the estimation we did not pay attention, or we did not even discuss about it explicitly, and yet we said the autocovariance estimator is a consistent estimator. As n goes to infinity, it will get you good estimates. It will turn out now when I show you the illustration that the periodogram, in fact I have shown you already once long ago, that as you increase the number of observations, the periodogram does not converge to the truth. And the main point I am raising is that we are not computing average spectral density, we are as per the definition. The same should have been the case with the autocovariance function as well. What was the issue there? How did we silently address that issue? We were silent about that point, and now we are being vocal about it. What is the reason? So, if you look at the expression for autocovariance carefully, what does it say? It says average of a product of two observations, correct? Its expectation of Vk so its expectation of Vk, let us ignore the mean part, Vk minus L. And what is the estimated expression? 1 over n sigma, assume that it is 0 mean, Vk minus L. Well, k running with appropriate lower limit and upper limit. So, do you think that the fact that the theoretical definition here requires expectation has been taken care of in this estimation? Has it been taken care of or not? Yes or no? Correct. So, by assuming ergodicity, at least we have taken care of the averaging part. We should have averaged across realizations, but we do not have realizations. What we are doing is instead computing this product in time and then averaging in time, and assuming ergodicity, we hope that as n goes to infinity you would recover the autocovariance function, and which it does. Whereas in the periodogram, what are you doing actually? What is the definition of periodogram? This is the definition of periodogram. In fact, I will bring up, you already know what is the definition of periodogram. You take the entire realization, the DFT of the entire realization, and call that as maybe x of omega or xn of omega, modulus square divided by n is a periodogram. We are not averaging anything. Here it says you have to average at a given omega. It says you freeze omega and then you have to average across realizations, but there is no such averaging being performed in the periodogram. First of all, it is wrong in some sense to expect periodogram to do that, because periodogram was never designed for this purpose. Since people decided to use it, then they found problems, and then others started finding out why periodogram cannot estimate the power spectral density of a stochastic signal. The main reason is that there is no averaging involved in periodogram. There is no form of averaging at all. At a given omega, there is no averaging that is being performed. You should not look at DFT doing some kind of averaging, no. DFT is only collecting information in time and giving you the free this thing at omega. So, that is one perspective. Depending on what perspective people took, the remedies were suggested. So, you will see later on there is something called a Welch averaged periodogram method, which is very popular. This is different from modified periodogram. In fact, the full form of it is Welch averaged modified periodogram method, but we throw away the modified. That is based on the idea of creating artificial realizations out of a single realization. What you do is you chop off your signal into segments, assuming that it is stationary, and compute the periodogram over each segment, and then take the average of periodogram across all the segments that you have. So, if I have 1000 data points, I can segment it, for example, into 10 segments of 100 in each, correct? I can compute the periodogram over each segment of 100 observations, and then I take the average of the periodograms across these observations. What do I gain? We can show that we gain now on the, in fact we arrive then at a consistent estimator. That is, now the resulting estimate will be much closer to the truth. In fact, as n goes to infinity, such estimators will get you the true estimate of the power spectral density, because you are performing the required averaging. What do you think we have lost out on in such an approach? Resolution, because in each segment now, earlier when I was considering the full realization, I had 1000 observations. Now, since I have segmented into smaller blocks, the resolution that I have in each segment is now 1 over 100, assuming 1000 has been divided into 100. Therefore, we have lost out on the resolution in a bid, in an effort to bring about consistency. Again, there is a trade off here. Okay. Of course, you do not have to divide the data into different segments, overlapping, non-overlapping segments. You can have an overlap as well. And then of course, there were 1 or 2 PhDs on that, and finally, Welch's work suggested that 50% overlapping is good. I will talk about it. Then there are 2 other perspectives which I will talk about very soon, which suggest remedy. So, let us go to an example. So, this is your periodogram. Let us go to an example here, go past the window functions and show you what is happening with respect to using periodogram for a white noise process. So, here on the left here, on the left top, I hope you are able to see, all of you. I will scroll down. So, what I have done is I have generated 250 observations to begin with of a Gaussian white noise process, and you have the periodogram here coming from a single realization. And what you have as a red line here is a theoretical spectral density, because we know white noise process has a flat spectral density. So, the estimate does not really tally anywhere close, it is just fluctuating from, if you look at the nature of the periodogram, it is erratically fluctuating from one frequency to the other, it is jumping, there is no smoothness at all, whereas the true one has smoothness to it. Smoothness in this, of course, it is flat. If it was a correlated process, let us say an AR1 or an AR2 or some other process, how would the spectral density look like, the theoretical one? It would not look flat, but it will still look smooth, correct. So, that is another observation to make, that the original, the true one has a smooth nature to it, whereas a periodogram when applied to a stochastic signal gives you erratically fluctuating estimates of the spectral density. That is another perspective which people took and suggested remedies for improving the behavior of the periodogram. So, what would you do to bring about smoothness if I were to ask you? Suppose I want to now obtain a smoother estimate, so that I take this periodogram closer to the truth. What would you do?
Everything.
Just average across, you take a block of frequencies, right. For example, here I would take maybe 10 frequencies here and average, and then apply that, march ahead in frequency and get that done. So, all of this seems very common sense, right. But then look, I mean, today we have computers, we are able to see visually and come up with answers, but you have to really give it to them for the fact that they did not have so much computational luxury at that time, even visualization luxury. So, you can see very clearly that smoothing the periodogram can take us closer to the truth. You have to still theoretically prove it, we are not going to theoretically prove anything, I am just going to give you the results straight away, but what I am trying to explain to you is the basic ideas behind these different remedies or different estimators of power spectral density. So, one is, we said, Welch average periodogram method, which segments the signal. The other approach says do not segment, do not do anything, just take the single realization, compute the periodogram, whatever surgery you want to do it in the frequency domain. Okay. Some surgery has to be done, some operation has to be performed. Question is whether you do it at Apollo or Muller or somewhere else. So, here, or whether you do it here on US, that is what is actually being done here. In Welch average periodogram method, the operation is performed directly on the realization, and then an averaging is performed across segments. In the smooth periodogram method, you compute the periodogram of a single realization and then average across frequencies. You take a band of frequencies, compute average, march ahead, you take another band of frequencies, compute. What would you achieve? You would achieve a smooth estimate. What would you lose out on? I am representing a band of frequencies with a single estimate. So, once again I lose out on resolution. The original periodogram, that is a raw periodogram as we say, has a resolution of 1 over n. Let us not worry about windowing at this moment. It has 1 over n. The moment I average, I am collecting 10 frequencies and replacing it with a single number. So, as a result, now the resolution factor has dropped down. Okay. So, once again, in an effort to obtain better estimates, we are sacrificing on the resolution. So, everywhere you will see this. Yes, Mudra.
We know the white noise has a flat spectrum. So all the so in that case, averaging is a low pass filter.
Yes.
So in that
No, average is low pass filtering. If you average in time domain, then the filtering perspective comes in. Here you are directly averaging, you are just taking some kind of just an average. It could be a weighted average also, depending on the kind of averaging you perform. But when you want to say averaging is a low pass filter, that perspective comes about only when you apply it in the time domain. All right. In fact, I was hoping you would ask me, yeah, for white noise you know it is flat, but in reality maybe it is correlated. What am I going to do? Am I still going to construct local averages? Yes, I will still, because even though the true spectral density may look like this, right, may look like this, locally you can assume it to be constant. That is one assumption that this smooth periodogram estimators make, that locally there is some kind of a flatness, which is not entirely correct. Okay, that is point number 1. Point number 2, remember your periodogram is an estimate at each frequency and each estimate will have some error. When you are, what you are doing is actually by constructing simple averages, let us say for the white noise signal, what you are saying is that there is an erratic estimate here, erratically fluctuating estimate. This is the truth that you are unable to observe, and this is what you have as an estimate. So, you think of this raw periodogram as a measurement of the truth, and you can now apply either a simple average to estimate that constant or a weighted average, provided you know what is the error in the estimate of the in the periodogram estimate at each frequency, which you know, you can theoretically calculate the error. So, more sophisticated estimators like the smooth periodogram estimators would give different weightage to different frequency, because at each frequency the error in the periodogram estimate is different. But the basic idea is that you are you know very well, regardless of the process, that the underlying spectral density is smooth and my raw periodogram fluctuates like crazy. So, I am going to actually smooth them down. That is the basic idea. Let me quickly go over this example now. On the top you have 250 realizations. On the right you have 2000 realizations, and let me show you that situation has not improved. What we mean by situation has not improved is that the periodogram is still erratically fluctuating. This would not be the case with autocovariance function. With autocovariance function estimator, as you increase the data length, the estimates would get better and better. You are getting closer to the true ACVF. Whereas here, all that has happened is the density of frequencies has increased. Why? Because you have tighter spacing. That is all. Otherwise, the periodogram has not become smoother. Nothing has happened. On the other hand, if I were to average across realization, so that is the middle panel here, what I have done is, so what I have done here is I have still taken 250 realizations, 250 data points, but average the periodogram across several realizations. Then situation is improved. Why? Because now my method conforms to the definition of spectral density. And this you can see if I compute periodogram from a single realization, it is fluctuating erratically. Whereas the moment I average it across realizations, it has gotten much better now. Okay? And So, there are two important things to keep in mind here. One is the fluctuation in the estimate across frequencies, other is the smooth nature of that periodogram. Averaging has taken care of both. It has subdued the fluctuations that you see in the estimates across frequencies and also produced a smoother estimate. And this is regardless of the number of data points in your realization. On the left you see the averaging done with 250 in each realization, whereas here averaging with 2000 in each realization. And here I am just showing you the distribution of the periodogram estimates, basically in that is your whatever you are estimating at that each frequency, the distribution of that, and you can see it follows a chi-square distribution. Why I showed you this is that theoretically you can show that the periodogram follows a chi-square distribution. Now, one of the things that one of the things that you have to notice, although periodogram we said does not improve, raw periodogram does not improve with the number of data points, it is an asymptotically unbiased estimator. What this means is, if you were to average across realizations and increase the length, then you would get the truth. But the main issue is, where do I get those realizations? I can't get it at any online store or anywhere. I need to have that data with me. Ideally, what we wanted is consistency, which is that we wanted, without that expectation in there, we wanted P of omega n to go and actually give me P of omega n is your periodogram. Ideally, I want this result. This is what is consistency, right? I have written in a loose sense because I have to specify which form of consistency I want, mean square or in probability and so on. But what this is saying is, I want the estimate to get to the truth as I simply increase the number of observations. I do not have to do any averaging. But unfortunately, such is the property of periodogram, the way you construct. We will not go further. The point to remember is, as far as the use of periodogram for estimating spectral density of a stochastic signal is concerned, the raw periodogram is a poor estimator of the spectral density. Poor in what sense? It is not consistent. This is not satisfied, unfortunately, by the periodogram. The reason is the variance of the periodogram. I will tell you why. I will go past the example and let me see, yeah, I have the expression back there.